5177. I like to go through scenarios, what ifs, because you can what if the shit out of a situation and get quite a bit of information and ways to tackle or approach incoming fire or things you may not have thought about. But I want to talk about this lawsuit that my friend Jane's wrapped up in somehow for a grammatical error that 99% of people have no fucking clue what it means. It's three little dots. It's they call it. They really dug hard for this one too. Unless you're like a fucking English major or some complete and total somebody that just keeps your nose. I don't know, but they dug really hard for this just to try to find a reason to get Jane in there. And from what I understand, every time they have these meetings, 90% of the time they don't even talk about Miss Jane. They talk about myself and Daryl. And I think she's sort of like their punching bag because they didn't get me and Daryl. And that's just my thoughts. But in any regard, just so you know, you might want to look up ellipsis. I think that's what it's called. I don't give a shit. I'm going to keep on using the three dots because I use it as like a pausing piece. As when I'm typing, I'm like, okay, taking a break, pause, and then three dots, and then leading into what I have to say next. So that's what I've always used it for, and that's what most of you probably use it for too. But there's a woman right now getting sued in a federal court right now for that by our former law director, Brett Ruddick. From what I believe to be a shit show. I mean, I really do. But I noticed something, and the transcripts from his daddy, Judge John Tim Ruddick. He states, we are in a federal lawsuit. Who the fuck is we? How has this judge, I mean, is he allowed? I mean, he was he's a sitting judge, and he said we. Interesting. I just found that to be interesting. But moving forward. Anyway, they put her in this lawsuit for these three little dots. But then you look at the grand scheme of things. They're stating that these people damaged his ability to become a judge, or the judge. Well, I got bad news for you, sport. The fucking old lady the old dinosaur they took out of fucking retirement kicked your ass. Come on, really? Come on. You got 19% of the votes. I would say a lot of your actions themselves was a greater contributor to Jane's three dots. But he did find out, I'm sure, which was a heartbreaker, that the anonymous poster was not myself or was not Daryl, but a former close friend of his and family friend, from which I understand that guy's, I mean, he don't give a shit. He's devil dog himself, and probably don't give two shits about any lawsuits, and pretty much said, you ever come around my kids, I'll fucking beat your brains in, which says a lot. But I'm looking at these different scenarios. So I'm going to predict something here. So you got a shithead here that has a lot of dirt on the city, and I bet you the city ends up paying his ass. I really do. But I think it's going to come by way of the next person they probably call to depose, which is his secret friend, Brian Scheidecker. Oh yeah, they're buddies. He likes to say they're not, just to try to keep whatever fucked up image he thinks he's having of himself. Because let me tell you something, Mr. Scheidecker, everyone thinks you're a fucking crooked shitbag. Just saying. And the people and your peers do not are not fond of you. And I think they may have good reason. I mean, anyway, I wonder what's going to happen if they call Mr. Scheidecker to depose, which I don't see how they could even use that as a person of interest to even depose, because he was the fucking city safety director, having nothing to do with records. Nothing. And I don't think whomever, I don't know if that was Daryl that got those or I don't know who got those damn records concerning the camera. And I don't know who released them. In fact, I thought it might have been BCI. I don't care. But in any regard, when they move to depose him, my guess is that's going to scare the shit out of the city, because you have two little wormy shit. Gotta go, folks. Got a phone call.